Hey, Crustacean Nation, we've got another episode of Lobster Tales here for you on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Matteen Rad here, and I'm joined today by goaltender Josh Rosenzweig. Rosie, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And why wouldn't you be doing good? You're coming off an amazing performance against the Columbus River Dragons, 38 save shutout, and a completely clean slate in the shootout as well. At what point in that game are you aware of really just how locked in you are?
Um, yeah, I mean, started off the game with like 10 shots in the first period or 11 or something like that. And I felt like I was in a groove, so it was starting to feel really good. And then in the second and third, it was still 0-0, and I just had the mentality that, I wasn't getting beat.
Is there ever any fear in a game like that when maybe the rest of the team isn't firing on all cylinders and it feels like they're leaning on you to keep them in the game? Are you in a mindset where you're trepidatious to make a mistake, or are you just trying to take it kind of save by save?
I think as a goalie, you sort of live for those moments, those games where you can really step up and be the hero. So I love those little tight games. Obviously love to keep it 0 as long as possible. So yeah.
That's exactly what you did. And after that final save of the shootout, your emotion on the ice was obvious. What was running through your head when it was all said and done?
Yeah, obviously, you know, I was really pumped up, really fired up. I'd get on one knee, do my little fist pump, Sully, and then kind of did the Columbus fans celebration like when they score. So you know, all those emotions at once. It was really fired up.
You're in your second year as a professional, but you've also had a very prolific junior career. Where does that performance on Saturday night rank in your memory of games past?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my better games in a while, and it felt really good to have a game like that. Obviously, for confidence and yeah, it just felt really good.
Speaking on your confidence, you've now played 4 games in a row. You're the first Rock Lobster goaltender to do that. Do you feel like the amount of game time, the amount of play that you've had recently has really helped you find a new level in your play?
Yeah, I think that the more you play, you sort of get into a groove, and the better you feel out there. So yeah, definitely the last couple games in a row that I've gotten the opportunity to play, I've definitely felt stronger and stronger every time I step on out on the ice.
You grew up in Toronto. Does it suffice to say that you also grew up a Maple Leafs fan?
Yeah, 100%.
Who would have been your biggest goaltending influences growing up to a young hockey fan? Would it have been James Reimer? Or?
Um, I picked number 34, like the number I wear, when I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, probably because of Reimer, I think. But my favorite goalie growing up would have to be Jonathan Quick from the LA Kings, or now he's on the Rangers.
You got your start in the pros last year with Watertown, but how did this opportunity come about with the Rock Lobsters, and what factors about the team made you want to take the trip to Athens?
Yeah, I saw, there was an expansion team in the Fed. I saw that Athens was one of them, and I did a little Google search, saw like the town and all that stuff, and I thought it'd be cool to move to the South and play hockey. And I reached out to Coach Steve Martinson. We had a little chit chat, and then we made it work.
How has it been living in Athens thus far? Because I mean, you're one of the youngest guys on the team,
Yeah.
21-year old. It must be perfect to be living in a college town.
Oh yeah, it's been great so far. I love the South. I love especially like you said, college town. There's always stuff to do, and we're set up really nice with our apartments, so it's been a pretty good lifestyle down here.
Toronto, it's arguably the hockey capital of the world. Moving down here to play hockey in the South, and of course, you were in Watertown, in a New York town the year before. Has it taken any adjustment to get used to the hockey culture down here in the Deep South?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, down here, I would say probably football is college football is like the number one thing. But honestly, ever since we started playing home games down here, I feel like the community and the fans that we're starting to attract, it's getting bigger, and we're getting a lot of love from the community. So it's been really fun, and a lot of fans. Like sometimes I'll be out like to go like at a restaurant, and like people will come up to me and just be like, "Oh, like you're on the Lobsters, blah blah," and it's pretty cool to start to get that recognition. So it's been nice.
So there's also a third team that you've played in as a pro. That was HC Tel Aviv. What was that experience like to play in Israel, and how did that opportunity arise?
That's funny. I never ended up going to Israel. It was an error on the website. I was supposed to go this summer to play um, in the Israel League. That sort of fell through just because there's been like a lot of wars going down over there in that part of the world. But no, I would definitely love to go and play in the summer in the Israel League, and I got family there and stuff. So it would be good to kind of see them and hang out with them and play some hockey down there.
So I actually looked this up. So it is a German Israeli name, Josh Rosenzweig. I realized what the translation is. Do you know what it translates to?
I think it's like the thorn on a rose.
Rose branch is what I mean.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean Google's always right, right?
Yeah.
That's what came up.
Yeah.
I've asked a fair amount of the guys who they think the funniest guy on the team is, and your name has come up. I think every time.
Really?
Would you give yourself that title, or does someone else come to mind for you?
Um, I mean, I definitely like to keep it light most of the time, but I don't know. I would say that Orca Weisblatt, he's a character. He's a funny guy.
Is he kind of like a sneaky funny guy? Because Orcs can be a quiet dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really close with him, so once you get to know him a little bit better, he can make you giggle a little bit. So he's pretty funny.
We've already mentioned it once. You're one of the youngest guys on the team. I think Brandon Rellett is the only guy that's younger. Two questions with that in mind. Who have been the guys that you have been closest to on the team? And then who are the more experienced guys that you've kind of been looking up to?
Yeah, so closest I would say, definitely Orca, my roommate Kason Gallant and Garcia, and probably yeah, Reller too. Like all us young guys, we have a lot of stuff in common. We love to hang out together after practice, and whether it's watching movies or going to get something to eat, it's always a good time with them. And then you said experienced, sorry.
Who have been the more experienced guys that you've been looking up to?
Definitely, guys like Shanks and Millsy. Uh, those guys, they lead by example every day. You know, they they've instilled a culture on this team that, there's very high expectations, and I don't think I've ever seen those two guys especially like ever go through the motions or take a day off. Like those guys, they lead by example, and they've had long pro careers because of it. And, it's always good to learn from guys like that.
Being a goalie, goalies tend to be the superstitious type. Do you have any superstitions or any rituals that you partake in?
Um, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of weird things that I felt like if I didn't prepare this exact way, you know, it wasn't going to be a good game or anything. But as I've gotten older, I've tried to keep it really simple. I mean, if we're on the road like this past weekend, definitely want to get a good meal, good nap in, and then When we show up to the rink, I like to get my headphones in and sort of just dial in, and I'll grab a lacrosse ball, throw it against the wall, and then make sure that I'm all stretched up, get treatment, make sure my body's ready to go, and then um, I guess little things with my equipment. I always get dressed the same way, so like right skate before the left, like that kind of stuff. But yeah.
I had a group of buddies come in for the New Year's Eve game, and I had a buddy's girlfriend. She's really a good friend too, but she wanted me to ask you about your stretching routine. Can you take us through the pregame stretch? Maybe any stretches that you can teach us here on the interview.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I've done that same little routine probably since junior, since I was about 16. I don't know, it's just something I like to do. It might look a little flashy and a little crazy at sometimes, but it definitely gets my body ready to go. It gets me dialed in, it gets me focused. I'll grab the water bottle and I'll sort of squirt it up and then watch the water drops, just kind of focus my eyes and yeah, that's basically it.
It feels like you kind of have a thing for playing in Monroe. Some of your best performances have come against the Moccasins in Monroe this season. What is it about there that just brings out the best in you? Is it something about maybe the fans there that you really want to be on your very best, or some other factor that really puts you in tip top to go up against the Moccasins?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but every time we're in Monroe, I think they've had the most fans consistently, like on a nightly basis. On the road, I think they get an average of like 4,000, north of 4,000 fans a game, and I don't know. I've loved the pressure. I've loved the spotlight. Ever since I started playing, and they always have the fans heckling at us. They make signs and stuff. So it's a great atmosphere to play in, and when you get booed, sometimes you like being the villain. It's not always a bad thing, and yeah, it's been fun the couple times that we've played in Monroe.
From being the villain in Monroe to being the hero in Aikens Ford Arena, we've got a 3-game set coming up against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Rosie, how excited are you to get back on the home ice? And what has it been like for you as a goaltender to open up this new arena with the Rock Lobsters?
Yeah, obviously love playing at home with the new rink. It's beautiful. It's a great building. In front of our fans, playing in front of our fans, there's nothing better than that. And I'm very excited for this weekend. We got a big weekend against Baton Rouge, so.
So you're in an interesting position, Rose. I've asked guys like Shanks and asked guys like Millsy about what their individual goals for the season are. And really all they've talked about is really wanting to help the team because of where they are in their careers. But in terms of you, you're still so young into your career, especially your professional career. So what are some of the individual goals that you want to achieve for yourself this season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here to win a championship. I've never won in any level before, and I'm hungry. I want to know what it feels like to win. So I'm here to win a championship, and I think we have the right guys to do it. We have a very talented and skilled team, like up and down the lineup, and hopefully I can give the team the best chance to win, every night. And yeah, I just want to win.
You've definitely given the team a winning recipe as of late. Josh, thanks so much for joining me today. Looking forward to seeing you play against Baton Rouge this weekend.